this is Kelly Hobart from Alpaca Direct, and I am here on Technique Tuesday, and we are going to be talking about a couple of projects, and one of them is a knit along by Michelle Hunter, and it is called the Cable Channel Knit Along, or a KAL they also call it, and it is usually a free project, and you learn new skills as you go along, so it's totally fantastic to participate in these. And with Michelle Hunter, she is such a fantastic teacher. I love joining in on her knit alongs whenever I can. So here we are, we're working on that today. So you'll look right here at my project that I have, and I chose, when we do this project, it first tells you to buy a pillow form that is the recommended size for the pillow form is 14 inches by 14 inches, and mine is 12 inches by 15. And the reason why I'm using the pillow form that I have here today is because it's a pillow form that I already had at home, and I like these little down pillow forms. And so I wanted to use what I already have because, you know, I'm kind of practical and I don't like to waste. So how can I make this project so it works with what I have at home? So that's what I was working on. Yes, Jim?
So we got a bunch of people joining in.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone had a great week.
Got Debbie, Dr. Susan.
Good morning, Debbie. It's nice to hear from you again.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. It's nice to have all of you here with us today. And let us know where you're from and maybe what you're working on. We love looking at patterns and getting ideas from you as well, because every week is a new project usually, and I love getting ideas that are fresh and interesting, and all those fantastic knitters out there, you guys are great. And on our VIP group, I get so many great ideas and see so many beautiful projects.
And crocheters too.
Yes, and crocheters too. And so I am totally thrilled to have you here this morning. And we are really enjoying this knit along. What I loved about this knit along with Michelle Hunter is that it's a home improvement project. We actually get to show off our knitting and put some throw pillows on our couch, or we're maybe in a bedroom or a special place, so that people can see the lovely knitting that we love so much, and they get to share it with us. And we're using this wonderful yarn. It's called Kenzie, and I am using, I think it's called Rapaho. What, Jim?
No, nothing.
Did you have anything? Good. And this is the colorway that I'm using. I have at home kind of a lot of brick red colors and stuff like that. So this color will go great in our home. And then I had this pillow cover. And let me tell you, when I first started, I had a few problems, right? The first thing was it had me cast on 101 stitches. And I started knitting along. And I know that Michelle said on her website that give it a few inches because your work will shrink in. And yes, it did shrink in a little bit, but it was still too wide for my smaller pillow form. So what I kind of did, and here's like a way that I kind of solved that problem, where I had a pillow that isn't as wide as the pillow that is suggested. And so I had to change my stitch count, and I knew that on this pattern it's a 13 stitch repeat, right? So every 13 stitches we're going to be repeating the pattern. And I kind of laid it over the top of my pillow, and I'm trying to get a gauge on it when it was, I usually knit a little bit and then I check gauge on it. You can do a gauge swatch. I usually do the whole project as a swatch. Probably not the easiest way to get swatch, but it's usually what I do. You know how I am. I always say if I have to knit it again, it's called free practice, because I get to enjoy the yarn twice, maybe 3 times, depending on how many times I do this little experiment. But I never worry about that. I just knit along and enjoy myself as I'm going, and if I have to rip it out, I consider it a learning experience, right? So all of you out there, as we're going along, if you face some of the problems that I face, go ahead and share them with us, because we love hearing, well, what do they say? Misery loves company. Anyways, but it's not really misery, because I really do enjoy knitting, so it's fun.
Patricia said she had to rip hers out twice so far. I saw that come by.
Yeah, okay, so in this pattern, it recommends a number 6 needles, right? And usually I'm right on gauge with Michelle's patterns, and this time it was huge. I knit this swatch and it was huge. It's like, it's no way it's gonna be, you know, shrink down small enough so it'll work on my pillow. So anyway, I just wanted to show you this little trick that I do sometimes when I am checking gauge on something and I'm just doing it really quickly, and see if maybe it helps you with checking gauge when you're working on your projects. So I have my project that's blocked. You know how I love to soak things in the sink for a second, right? When I'm going along, I'll knit a little bit and then I get it wet and I lay it flat to dry. Now when we're blocking, it doesn't mean that I'm stretching it out. No, I'm not really doing that. What I'm doing is smoothing it out. I'm not stretching it out. So anyway, so then I let it dry and then I recheck it again, because sometimes as it's drying it shrinks back in a little bit, right? So then I would take my tape measure when I'm measuring how many stitches I'm getting per inch, right? And we're gonna go 4 inches. So I would go across, this is using the whole pattern. I would maybe check, see how this has some knit rows in here. I would go right to that very edge. So I would go here to here. Now all I have to do is count these stitches. So I would have 5, 10, 15, 22. So I have 22 stitches, right? In 4 inches. And I want to get rid of however many stitches I need. So you go 22 stitches divided by 4. And then I would, usually you'd round up. Or you could round down to 20. And then you would go 5 times 4 is 20, right? So 5 stitches per inch. And so that is a simple way to check gauge when you're doing your projects, right? So that gives you some food for thought when you're going along and checking. And then also on mine, I took 2 repeats out of mine. So I took out 13 and 13 is 26 stitches, and then I figured I'll just keep this length, because this length is right around the recommended length, because mine's 15 inches tall and it recommends 14 inches, and like I said, it was bigger than I thought. So I have mine, I think this is about, it's supposed to be 8 inches, and I have like 7.5, because it seems like it's close to half. And then the button band's gonna go over it. If I need to knit more, I will, no problem. But for now, that's what I have until I see the next part of the pattern, right? So, anyways, I was excited about this. And then if you look at the fit on both sides, the fabric is curling just a little bit on the edge because of the stockinette. But I still have plenty of room for seaming. And it is blocked, but like I said, it's not stretched. So I have plenty of room for seaming, but it seems like it'll work just fine. So if I had done the pillow this way, I would have to change all these. I would have to change all 3 of these dimensions, right? And that seems a lot more work than just decreasing the stitch count here. And so I'm going to keep these dimensions the same, and I turned it this way. Plus, I kind of like my cables and the striping of it to go up and down the long way as opposed to the short way. I think it'll look better. So I kind of like that look better. So that's the way I'm doing that.
You have a bunch of people joining, so they just want to know what you're working on.
Oh, good morning. This is the Knit Along from Michelle Hunter, and it is called Cable Channel, and we're on part 1. And what it is a knit along. We don't know what the finished product's gonna look like, but we know it's a pillow cover, and we know it has cables, of course. And so we're using the lovely Kenzie, and it is a wonderful merino, nylon, angora, alpaca, and silk blend. And what I love about this yarn, if you look at it really close, it has a beautiful halo on it. It is really nice to knit with this yarn. It's beautiful. It kind of reminds me of mohair without mohair. So it's a really nice yarn. I really do enjoy it. Oh, before I move on, I wanted to show you. So because this project is kind of an easy knit and fun and relaxing, not too much to it, I was able to finish my baby blanket. And this one, it's called the Twinkle Star Baby Blanket. And I got it all done, yay! It's done and blocked, and I'm gonna be making accessories to go with it. So I'm really, really excited about the baby blanket. It is more like a stroller size, And it's not quite, it didn't block out quite to be 30 by 40, but close to it.
They want to know what you used with that one.
With
What
that one?
yarn?
Oh, this one was Sueno, and this is my leftover Sueno. It is an 80-20 blend of merino and bamboo, and it's by Haiku or Skacel, and it is a machine washable merino with bamboo in it. So really nice, really nice quality yarn. You know how I am. I like really good quality at reasonable prices. So anytime I can find a yarn like that, I'm so excited, and I've made tons of projects with that yarn. And I love it because it has a nice twist on it, and that tighter twist on it makes a yarn that is sturdy. Yes, so it doesn't fall apart, and it doesn't pill so easily as merino might if it was lightly twisted. So that's totally cool. All right, so back to our project. We're doing the cable channel today, and it is doing this beautiful pillow cover. And we learned a couple skills this week. One of them was right twist, another one was left twist, and then Michelle had a new way of doing the left twist. It's called a mirror image left twist. And it is such an interesting thing. So if you're doing twists or cables where you're going in one direction and making diamonds or what have you, this left twist mirror image is a really neat technique to do. So I'm going to be showing you how to do that real soon. Did you have any questions, Jim?
Nope.
So as we're going along, if you guys need to understand how to do something, or you need help with anything, or you have any questions, please let me know, because I'd be happy to answer whatever questions that you have out there. And make sure you let us know what projects you're working on, and maybe anything that you'd like to tell us. Oh yes, Jim, thank you for reminding me that. So last week we had our bamboo pop, and this is a bamboo cotton blend, and it's called the Dots colorway, and it won. We've been having you guys vote on what colorways that you like, and you guys like this dotted colorways. So that'll be the prize for this last week. And then for this week, I was thinking maybe this colorway or this colorway. And one of them is, this one's called, oh dear.
What yarn is it?
Number 1024. This is Kenzie, the same yarn we're doing our pillow covers out of. It's such a wonderful yarn. And this is number 1024, and this one is color number 1022. This one's called Arapaho, and this one is Hokitika? I don't know. Anyways, there are your two different colorways, and so you guys let me know which one you think that our winner from today
Maybe
would
make
like.
it dark green or light green or something, because no one will remember those names.
Light blue or dark blue?
Oh, it's
Does
blue.
that sound good? Yeah. So, anyway, that's the price for this week. So you guys let me know which ones you think that would be good price for this week. And we'll get that in the hands of one of our winners so that they can try it and let us know how they like it. Because I really enjoy that yarn, so I'm sure that you guys out there will like it too. Let's see. And oh, while we're at it, let's talk about how we enter to win these lovely prizes. And the way that you enter to win is you let us know where you're from, what you're working on, and anything interesting that you want to tell us about, and then you're entered to win. And if you have won in the past, there is also a chance that you will win again. So please keep entering. Please post your comments and let us know. Maybe share with your buddies and let them enjoy the projects that we're doing, because these projects that we're doing are so much fun. And it's always nice to learn a little something new.
Last week's winner was a repeat winner, I think.
Yes, yes. So you can win more than once. That's true. But what I was thinking about when I was talking to Jim earlier today, and I was telling him about, you know, why I love doing these projects, and I kind of related it to my horseback riding. And you know, when I was doing reining training with my horse, we use our legs to ride, right? We use pressure with our heel. We put the heel into the horse. And if when you're working with your horse and you're controlling the front of the body, you may put your heel forward just a few inches, maybe 3 inches, and that controls the front part of your horse's body. So that would mean they would, when you give them the cue, they're moving their front legs. And then in order to control the back part of their body, you move your leg back just a little bit, and it might even be 3 inches a difference, and then you're controlling the back of the horse's body. And you can make them do spins, and you can make them do all kinds of things. And it's just these little tiny subtle changes. And usually if you're watching reiners working with their horses, you can't even see the motions. They're so minute. And so just tiny little changes make a huge difference. And so when we're doing these projects and I'm talking to you about these different skills, there are so many different ways to do things. But making tiny little changes can make a huge difference in the outcome of your project, and you'll really, really enjoy it. So that's always something to keep in mind as we're knitting along. So I wanted to show you here on this project, at the end of the project, they tell you to drop a lifeline. And you'll see my a contrasting color of yarn, and I happen to use a little bit of bamboo pop that I had at home. And I thread it right through the stitches that are on the cord here. And I'm going to show you how to do that today. So that, and when you put in a lifeline on a project, the reason why you would put in a lifeline is maybe you're doing a lace project, or maybe you're going to go in, maybe she's going to do some more complicated cabling. And that way, if you get stuck in your pattern or you mess something up and you need to go backwards, you can easily go back to the row that you're on with this lifeline in here, and then you'll have your stitches oriented and you can just slip them right back onto your needle. So learning how to do these little skills may save you a huge amount of time and make the difference between being able to save your work if you make a mistake or having to start over. So learning these little skills are kind of handy. All right, let me see if I can come around here, Jim, and I'm just going to go right to our little projects. Oh, in this project, they tell you, Michelle said, use a crochet cast on to cast on for your project. Sorry, Jim, I'm going to reach. And here is the crochet cast on. It's not a very stable cast on for, for regular knitting. But if you have to pick up stitches, and I think that's what she's going to have you do, then it'll be easy to see where to pick up stitches. Okay, so that is what I think she's using this for. Plus, she's trying to teach us skills as we're going along as well. So right here is a little sample of what I have, and it's a little tiny sample of casting on. Now let me just take this off so we can start from the beginning, right? So in order to do a crochet cast on, you need to have a crochet hook and the knitting needles that you're going to be knitting with. Now it is ideal to use the same gauge of crochet hook that you have on your knitting needles. So it's just easier to do, and then your stitches won't be too big or too small. They'll be 2 gauge that you're going to be knitting. So in order to start this crochet cast on, you would just use a little 6 to 8 inch tail, just enough to weave in your ends, because with the crochet cast on, you're not actually using the tail to create any stitches. So I put a slip knot on my crochet hook, and I have it on there. Now if you hold your tail just to get this started, it'll be easier for you to start, and it's kind of fiddly. So I have taken my working yarn and put it behind my knitting needle, right? And the crochet hook is over to the right and my knitting needle's on the left. Then I reach over the top of my knitting needle, do a yarn over from back to front, and bring that through. So it looks like that. Then I take my working yarn and bring it to the back again. This is also known as a provisional cast on. And if you're doing a provisional cast on, you would be using scrap yarn. This is not using scrap yarn, it's using your working yarn. And so you're just doing a provisional cast on, except for you're using your working yarn. And you won't be taking it out. You're going to be using this as your actual cast on. So if you watch, I'm just bringing my crochet hook through, making a loop, bringing the working yarn to the back, and you can see that after a little bit this goes rather quickly. okay? And then when you get to your last stitch where you think you have enough, say I need, okay, so I have 3, 6, 9, 10. So I'm saying that my pattern needs 11 stitches, 10 on my needle, and then 1 on my hook. Now I have 11 because I flipped it right over there. Now you're ready to knit. And that's what that looks like, see? So that's how you crochet cast on, okay? And Michelle is using it so that later we can use it for seaming or picking up stitches. I'm not sure which because she's going to be doing the knit along, and we don't know what it is yet exactly because it is like a mystery knit along or something. All right? So now we had talked about the Lifeline, and I have on here, first I'm going to show you right here is, I have this little sample and it's of a right twist, okay? And now when I'm looking at these right twists,
So you're not doing a Lifeline?
I'm going to do the Lifeline right after. Okay. So I'm going to save that yarn there for 1 second so we can look at our right twist here, and it's going to the right. And an easy way to remember a right twist, if you are familiar with knitting charts and you see a line that's angled like that, it's the symbol that is often used for a knit two together, which is a right leaning decrease. So if you think of the right twist as a right leaning twist, then you would start it with a knit two together. Okay, so that's an easy way to tell yourself which, because they're left twist and a right twist, it's hard to remember how you start each one. But if you just think of it as a knit two together, which is that symbol, and then you can figure out how to get started on that project. So let me go ahead and show you how to do this. So I'm just going to knit this regular 1 stitch on the edge, my garter, and I'm just going to knit a couple stitches in so we can get to this. So when you're doing a right twist, you would knit two together and then keep that on the needle. Then you would knit that first stitch again, and then you remove them both from the needle. Let me show you that again. Let's get a couple stitches away from it. So we're going to knit two together, knit one, remove both of those stitches off the needle. Let me just purl back so you can see what this looks like. And then I'm going to show you how to drop your Lifeline.
Why don't you show it so they can zoom
project.
In? Let me zoom in on
1 second, Jim. Let me just get purled back here so they can see the front of the fabric, and then it'll show up more clearly for them. Okay? And I'm just purling back. Alright. A few more stitches here.
What are you doing
And
now?
this is a right twist. And then after this, I'm going to show them how to do a Lifeline. Alright. So that's what your right twists look like. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to do a Lifeline. When I do my Lifelines, I take a contrasting color of, it's supposed to be yarn that's similar to the same thickness as the yarn that you're knitting with, but I think any yarn that has a little bit of substance, I'm using the Bamboo Pop again in a solid pink here. And I have at least 3 times the width, but it's much more than 3 times the width. So then I would just thread it onto the darning needle, and I just start going along here, and you don't have to take it off the needles. You could leave it on the needles and continue knitting. So if I go, I just thread it through some of the stitches, and then I would maybe thread it through a couple more. And you do this all the way along your project until you're all the way through there. Okay. And then I would take the darning needle off, and you want it to be so it's not tight. And what I like to do with when I'm doing lifelines is I take the two ends so they don't somehow get loosened up and fall off or something. I would take them and do a little tiny slip knot. And then I would trim the ends, making sure that my project is still loose so that I can look at what I'm knitting and it's not pulling or sucking the project in. And that is how you place a lifeline for a project. And this is particularly useful when you're doing lace knitting, where you can easily mess up your projects. So that's how you do that. And I've just shown you how to do the right twist. So now we're going to be taking a look at two different left twists. And I'm going to show you, this first one is a left twist that is a mirror image, and I thought this was kind of cool. So if you're doing diamond patterns or what have you, it makes more of a smooth left twist. And these two rows are practice samples of left twist mirror image, and then this last sample is the regular left twist, and I'm going to show you how to do both of those.
So what's the difference between them? So can you point out?
One of them, the left twist mirror image, you reorient the stitches and then you just do it a little different. I'm going to show you how to do it differently. So, but the two different, I think they're useful for different things. So this mirror image left twist, it exactly, mimics. It's a great complement to the right twist. And it's also good if you're like doing diamond patterns where you're going to be actually making shapes with it. But if you're doing just little cabling up a project, this left twist, the regular left twist, is pretty easy to do. So if you're just doing it, well, you could even do the regular left twist on this particular project and it would look good as well.
See, that one has the mirror though?
This one has the mirror. Okay. Yeah, that's the mirror. But you don't have to do the mirror. You know how I always tell everyone there's 20 million different ways to do the same thing. So let me show you how to do the left twist mirror image. So if we look at our card here, I'm going to, let me just knit away from the edge just a little bit here. All right? All right. So I have, when you do the left twist mirror image, you slip one stitch as if to knit. So you go into that stitch as if you're going to knit it and slip it from the left needle to the right needle. Then you do that again, left needle to the right needle. Then you put both of those stitches back on your left-hand needle so that you can work them, right? And then you would knit your second stitch. See in the back here? You're going to knit this second stitch, bring it out from under there, and still leaving that on the needle. Then you're going to knit two together through the back loop to finish it off. And then you take it both off. So let's go ahead and do that one more time. I'm going to knit one stitch away from it. So you slip as if to knit, slip as if to knit. Put those two stitches back on the left-hand needle. Knit the second stitch in through the back loop. Then knit two together through the back loop. And that's how you complete that one. Now, I'm going to knit one stitch away and I'm going to show you the traditional way, the regular left twist. So we have our regular left twist. I always put these sticky notes to remind you guys in case you're looking at it. It's an easy way for you to look at the basic skills that I'm showing you step by step. Okay, so you would knit the second stitch through the back loop.
Go over this way.
Sorry, knit the second stitch through the back loop, then knit the first stitch through the front loop, then take it off the needle. And that's how you do the regular left twist. So there are so many different ways to get to the same end point, but I thought that was pretty cool. I like that left twist mirror image that we tried, and here that's what they look like when they're complete. So I hope this helps you today. Let's see, was there anything else that I forgot, Jim? Let me take a look at mine. Project over here. I think I went through all the skills now. And this project was great fun to knit. I'm sure Michelle has a lot more in store for us. Our next clue or project will come out on Thursday morning, right, Jim?
Mm-hmm.
At 9 o'clock. And let's see if I can find the winner of our 2 skeins of bamboo. It's Janice Story DeBauer. Sorry, Janice, did I crucify your name? That's terrible. Anyways, I apologize. And here is your bamboo pop. And if you can give us your address and email us your address at customer service at Alpaca Direct, we can get this out in the mail to you. Bamboo's a lovely yarn. It's a great, great yarn. So I'm sure you'll enjoy that.
I'll mention the other bamboo too that we have.
Oh, yes. Okay. Does everyone see, Jim, can you show them, do you see I'm wearing my leggings today?
Here you go.
Yes, these are new leggings, and we have tank tops, and we have men's t-shirts, and we're getting underwear in, and it has been a great hit. I think we've sold out on the
plus size.
They call them, I don't know what they call them, but anyway, they are fantastic. It's sort of like a taste of spearmint to your skin, because you get this really cool feeling when you're wearing bamboo. And it is totally awesome. It has some characteristics of alpaca, right, Jim? Mm-hmm. But it is not hot, right?
It wicks moisture really well.
Yes, so it wicks moisture and keeps you, they say, about 3 degrees cooler than you might otherwise be. And we also have it in capris and then shorter capris, 2 different sizes of capris. And it is a fantastic product that we just found at the last show, right, Jim? And so we were totally excited to find it, and it has been a hit. A lot of people really like them, and I know I like them.
And we're getting more. We've sold out quickly, so
yeah.
We're going to get more.
Yes, and so we have more coming in, and they're fantastic products, but I'm so excited to be able to carry that. So I wanted to make sure and share that with you. And this week, you guys don't forget to let us know what colorways will work for this week's prize, and it's either light blue or dark blue. And you guys choose, and we'll use that for the prize next week. So I hope that you guys have a great week. And this next week, we're going to be talking about our second knit along. And so it'll be exciting to see what we learn from Michelle this next week. And so, in summary, checking gauge, you know how I say check gauge. It doesn't matter if you do it when you're knitting your project. I'm just saying when you're starting your project, look at it. Does it make sense? Does it look the way you want it to? Make adjustments right in the beginning. Don't knit the whole thing just to find out that it won't work for anyone. I mean, because, you know, that practical side of me, we have to knit stuff that is actually going to be used. If we can.
You didn't want to shop for a new pillow. That's what you said.
No, and for mine, I didn't want to shop for a new pillow. I want to use what I have because I have all these pillow forms in the closet. I don't want to go out and get more, and so I like to use what I have at home. And then making small adjustments like the right twist and the mirror image right twist, or actually, excuse me, left twist and the mirror image left twist can make big differences. So learning how to do things a little differently, learning a new technique, it's what life is about. Learning these new things and becoming just a little better or a little different, or, you know, making it memorable. And making sure that when I had this problem with trying to get the right gauge and trying to get my project to fit, embrace those. Don't tell yourself, I can't do it, or this is too hard. Figure out someone else who has succeeded, or, you know, has completed the project that you want to do, and then learn from them. Take their tricks as your own. Make them your own, and then you can be successful too. Don't recreate the wheel. I mean, right, Jim? We do that with everything that we do, not just knitting. And then, yes, adjusting the patterns to fit your needs and finding your own path is totally fantastic. And I love doing that with all the projects that I do. If it's from the baby blanket to the pillow, I'm always doing something and trying to make it my own. And I actually, everyone laughs. They're like, because, you know, I never follow a pattern. There has never been a pattern that I've followed. But it's all good because, you know, when I'm done, it's my own thing. And, you know, I'm totally happy with putting in that little extra effort to make it mine. So I hope that you have a great week. And this next week, we're going to be talking about our pillow again. And we're going to have the other half done. So it'll be actually exciting to see what it looks like. So you guys have a great week, and I will talk to you soon.